What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Master Crafted. Today, we are going to be talking a little bit about that new Tyranid detachment. Phil is with me as always, and today we have on our good buddy Frankie. He is so excited to try out this new detachment, and he is going to tell us all about it and how he thinks it's going to be ran. We're going to just do kind of his play test list. We're going to be talking through that. Frankie, how are you doing today, my dude?
Good, man. The day after data slate day, it's a good day. Blew off work, built lists, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is definitely fair. I have been I should be working a little more than I have been. That is for sure. I've been way too deep in a lot of this new data slate stuff. It is very interesting. There is a lot of good stuff to be had. Phil, what are you the most excited about coming out of this data slate?
Well, I think it's better to say what I'm least excited about to play into, because I think there's some of these detachments that are very, very good. Chaos Space Marines already look insane with Vastor and the new access to our new Disco Lords who are back, who are just so good now. Tyranids, as Frankie's going to talk about, I think is probably the strongest detachment out of all these new ones. But that Lions, the Dark Angels detachment, is also quite good, especially with the buffs they got. So there's a lot of things that I'm scared of, and it's just like ratcheting up.
Yeah, the game is just getting more and more dangerous, it seems like, in the last 6 months. You know, they're like 10th edition isn't hyper lethal. I feel like this is the most lethal the game has been by far. Like, some of these top armies just eat your lunch without thinking twice. Like, they can do so much damage. Yeah, not looking forward to some of these, but we're going to go ahead and talk about the newest detachment for the Tyranids, Subterranean Assault. What is their new detachment rule, Frankie?
The detachment rule is Surprise Assault. It says each time a Tyranid's model, so this is not restricted, this is everyone in your whole army. Each time a Tyranid's model from your army makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. Fantastic. Helps literally everything in the codex, except Genestealer. Each time a burrower unit from your army is set up on the battlefield from reserves, place a circular 40mm tunnel marker anywhere on the battlefield within 1 inch of that unit and more than 3 inches horizontally away from all enemy units. In the reinforcement step of your movement phase, when you set up a unit on the battlefield from reserves, you can set that unit up wholly within 9 inches of one of your tunnel markers and more than 6 inches horizontally away from enemy units. If an enemy model, excluding aircraft, ends any kind of move within 3 inches of one of your tunnel markers, that tunnel marker is removed from the battle. There's nothing about not being able to charge or anything like that. Like, you put stuff in and it can charge. New Ravener unit. And the other thing I like about this too is when you rapid ingress something, it will make a tunnel marker. When you rapid ingress a burrower unit, it makes a tunnel marker. You can't do the 6-inch setup on a rapid ingress, but there's nothing, unless I'm missing something, it looks like you still build the tunnel when you rapid ingress.
Yeah,
I would agree, because it says specifically comes in from reserves. So a rapid ingress unit comes in from reserves.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. The other small note on the detachment is Molochs and Trigons get the burrower keyword, and up to 2 Trigon models can become characters, which is super important because some of these enhancements, you're definitely wanting to put on a Trigon, at least one of them for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So to go through some of these enhancements, up first, we have Synaptic Strategy, a Tyranid model only. Once per battle, you can target the bearer's unit with rapid ingress for free, for 0 CP, and you can do so even if you've already used it to target a different unit with that stratagem this phase. Double rapid ingress on an army that is this fast and mobile.
Quadruple or quintuple rapid ingress, actually, if you're running the new Ravener squad. If you're running 3 of them, you can rapid ingress technically 5 units, which is insane.
Perfect. I love that. That just sounds like so much fun. I cannot imagine how much damage lists like that are going to do to hyper elite shooting armies that cannot super screen. In the biscuits is all I can think of for
If it's bad for Tau, it's good for me.
Yeah. And of course that is what everybody's worried about, is how well you're doing into Tau right now in the meta. What is that next enhancement we have, Phil?
So it's Tremor Senses, Tyranid model only, which of course, obviously. After both players have deployed their armies, select up to 3 friendly Tyranids from your army and redeploy them. When doing so, you can set those units up in strategic reserve, regardless of how many units are already in strat reserve. This is a fantastic ability across so many factions. Being able to screen something and then at no risk be able to bring those things back into Deep Strike means you can have board control without actually sacrificing any units, which from all of us have a good understanding of, that's quite good.
Yeah, especially for an army that tends to be pretty squishy, like Tyranids. You love having those lectors set up early to block things, block your opponent from keeping you off of your natural objective, things like that. But then, a lot of stuff just kills them real easily. But you just pluck them back into reserves, and now they don't have Deep Strike on their data sheet anymore, but now they kind of do again with the tunnels. So you can kind of Deep Strike them in to do actions on things, which is real.
Yeah, a solid option for sure. Being able to zone your opponent out and then just keep those really important fights first models safe as well. Yeah, super nice. Up next, what is that third enhancement we got, Frankie?
Vanguard Intellect. Tyranid's model with the Deep Strike ability only. The bearer's unit can be set up using the Deep Strike ability in the reinforcement step of your first, second, or third movement phase, regardless of any mission rules. I think that there's probably somewhere you can use this, but with the way, as you'll see, the strats and stuff work in this detachment, I don't know that this one you're ever really going to take it. You can uppy Downy stuff right away. So I don't know. I mean, if you got 15 points, first turn Deep Strike's always good. There's no real shooty units that have the Deep Strike keyword though, so you can't. I mean, this goes on Raveners. It can go on the new Ravener unit. I think that's about the only place it can go. So
gotcha. All right, and then last but not least, Trigon Prime, one Trigon model only. The bearer gains the Synapse keyword and then improve the strength and weapon skill characteristic of melee weapons equipped by the bearer by 1. Adding some Synapse, definitely useful. And then
plus it's essentially plus 2 strength because it gives you Synapse. So your Trigon goes from strength 9 to strength 11. Now it hits on 2s. You have built-in reroll 1s in the entire detachment. Easy access to sustained and extra AP on that guy as well. It's real good.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably something you are almost always taking, is at least a single Trigon with that enhancement. Like, at a bare minimum, you need at least that many Trigons.
I think one of the problems Tyranids have traditionally had throughout this edition is dealing with hull spam. So having a nice strength 11 guy that hits on 2s and rerolls 1s is pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely not going to be mad about that. Everything else is like what? Like a Norn? You got something super spendy that can actually deal with hard targets?
I mean, in their strength, they cap at strength 10. So
yeah, and yeah.
I guess the Assimilator is stronger, but it sucks.
All right, going into those stratagems, we have adaptive optimization. In your command phase, one Moloch or Trigon unit from your army until the start of your next command phase, it gains the Synapse keyword. Pretty useful. If you can only put one on a one Trigon with that enhancement we just talked about, being able to spread that around, not mad at that at all.
Yeah, this one I don't think is going to come up too much, but I'm sure all of the builds are still being figured out. For this, there's probably a Moloch Trigon spam build that's good. I think one of the things about this detachment is almost any unit can be good in it, which is really cool. But in most of my builds, I've just got one Trigon, and he has the Prime enhancement already, so I'll probably never use that strat.
Yeah, but is super nice. Again, that flexibility, you can be running maybe a go turn with a bunch of Molochs or something and just be like, boom, one gets it, the rest have Synapse now. Gross.
Yeah, +1 strength is +1 strength.
Yeah, especially on a group within Synapse range. That is super handy. All right, Phil, what is that next stratagem we got there?
Yeah, it's replenishing swarms. Your movement phase, it's only 1 CP, one Tyranid unit from your army, wholly within 9 of one of your totem markers. One model in your unit regains up to D3 plus 1 lost wounds, or you can return up to D3 plus 1 models with the wound characteristics of 1 to your unit with their full wounds remaining instead. This is cute. I think there is definitely a world where you're trying to run this, And it could be one of those things you run multiple times, especially on like a big Trigon or some of your other big bugs, where they can regen D3+1 wounds on a blip. I'm going to call them blips because Genestealer Cult had them first, but the Tyranids have definitely taken them. And it is a very good strat to have, especially when you're running a lot of big bugs.
I like it on the Griblies too. So if you're bouncing around stealing objectives, or let's say your opponent is running, some indirect, then kills half your unit gaunts before you get them anywhere useful. They pop out of a tunnel onto an objective. Cool. It's in your movement phase, so they regen up to 4 guys, and all of a sudden they can cleanse an objective or something, which is super cool. Or you can just have like a higher level of control over it. I think there's lots of, since these tunnels are going to be all over the place and you can come up within 6 inches. If someone's just towing in onto an objective, for example, they're just towing in, you touch it with a few Hormagaunts and heal them back up and steal the objective. Like, I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely some use you can get out of that in multiple ways. Bringing back trash, as you're saying, or just keeping those big bugs healthy, not complaining about that at all. Up next,
you can also use it to you can get extra movement out of this and everything. So like if you can bring up your Hormagaunts, let's say within 6 inches is what the tunnel rule is, so, or up to 6 inches, within 6 inches, and then you regen 4 guys, and all of a sudden you're real close to your opponent. There's nothing that says you can't put them closer, and you just extend your level of control over an objective you didn't have control over. I mean, there's so much good stuff you can do.
It's a nice tool stratagem for sure, and that's good to have, right? Yeah. Like, it's got multiple uses. It's not like tied to doing one specific thing, which is nice.
All right, and then Frankie, what is up next for their strats?
Sure. Enfilading Emergence, to me, this is the standout strat of the detachment. End of your movement phase, 1 Tyranid's unit from your army that was set up as reinforcements this turn. Till the end of your next fight phase, weapons equipped by models in your unit have the sustained hits 1 and ignores cover abilities. So keep in mind that this lasts for your shooting and your fight phase. You you've got Uppy Downy, which we'll get to later, but you pop in a unit of Zoanthropes with a Neurothrope. All of a sudden they're hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s, and they have sustained and lethal on the big guns. It's real good. It's really good.
Yeah, that is gross. Very gross.
I mean, the Zoanthropes at the start of the edition, they were cheap, so people were taking them a lot, and then they made them more expensive, and people stopped taking them because they're not that reliable. Now you can attach a Neurotyrant, which makes them more reliable. Now you can attach a Neurotyrant, so you're hitting on 2s, and you're rerolling 1s in this detachment, and you have sustained, and you ignore cover. It's so good.
Yeah, the only problem is you can't do it after you rapid ingress one of the bugs.
No.
So if you rapid ingress them, you can't give them this because it's specifically the end of your movement phase, and you can't do it retroactively. I mean, is that the end of the world? No, definitely not. It's still fine. It's just something that stood out while I was just reading.
Yeah, I think it's going on your Zoanthropes every turn, and since it's a shooty unit, you're not rapiding them most of the time. They're popping in your reinforcement step of your movement phase, I think, most of the time. But yeah.
Do you think there's any use, obviously, things that have just a ton of attacks, those Raveners, just Horospecs as well.
Yeah.
Just anything you're bringing in, you're not going to really benefit from ignores cover on those fighting units, but sustained hits 1 on the bucket of dice that some of those Tyranid units are bringing. Gotta be
Horospecs rerolling 1s with sustained, pretty good.
Yeah.
And a rerollable 6-inch charge. That's nice too.
Yeah. All right. Up next, Tunnel Network. The end of your movement phase. 1 Tyranid unit from your army that is wholly within 9 of 1 or more of your tunnel markers. Remove your unit from the battlefield and set it up again wholly within 9 of another tunnel marker you placed and more than 6 inches horizontally away from all enemy units.
Absolutely love it. It's so good. Like we were talking about this before we started recording, and there's definitely an argument to be made for just uppy downying something right on your home objective turn 1. Like the end of your opponent's turn, you uppy it, you downy it on your home objective, so you have a tunnel there. Then wherever else you have tunnels, stuff can just move from your home objective all the way to that tunnel, and change like the entire board state. It's while being protected behind whatever ruin is covering your home objective. It's really
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's
It's the fact
definitely
that it has
no way that you just have that happens in the movement phase. You're not even.
know.
Yeah, I mean, if only you also had the additional option to just pick things up at the end of your opponent's turn,
Yeah,
right? Like
exactly.
that would be wild if you had both of those, right? And that's definitely not happening in here, is it?
No.
Phil?
It's insane.
It's happening, unfortunately. But it is the last one, so I could put it off for a little bit. A Swarming Assault is next. Your charge phase. One Tyranid monster unit from your army that was set up as reinforcements this turn. Until the end of the phase, friendly Tyranids units within 6, not wholly within 6, so even better, can reroll charge rolls. Frankie, by the sound of it, we're going to run a few Tyranid monsters in this army.
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely argue for triple Haruspecs in this army. Once the tunnels are set up, like they just one on your home objective just all of a sudden pops out. This, I mean, it could be in reserves or it could be sitting on your home objective, just pops out where you have another tunnel, gives everyone around it reroll 6-inch charges. It's stupid. I mean, honestly, it's stupid.
It's a rough life. It sounds like to be a Tyranid player.
It's stupid. I mean, I don't know what to say. This is the other like huge standout one to me. It's just so it's gonna ruin people's day. It's a day ruiner for sure.
Yeah.
And you're definitely not like maybe sneaking in a winged hive tyrant to like hang out near that back line to also just do one of these things for free. To just be like, what would really suck is if I just ended up in your face and didn't even have to pay too much for it. Especially even though it's 1 per battle round. If you're bottom of turn, you're like, I'm going to spend 1, but I really won't to pick something up. And then you're going to go to the top of your turn. And you're like, I'm going to spend 1, but I really won't. You spent no CP. You picked up multiple units, and now you're just in their face.
Yeah.
Like, that is 100% a possibility. 6 inches away. Yes. Deep in the biscuits.
6-inch rerollable charges. No, it's not for the monster unit. It does affect that monster unit, but it also affects everyone within 6 inches of that.
This is fine.
This is fine. I mean, even like the thing that's so cool about this too is like it doesn't say anything about the targets or anything, right? Like, and you have a lot of leeway where you set up when you come out of a tunnel too. So you bring a monster up out of a tunnel 9 inches away from that tunnel marker. It buffs another unit that's nowhere near that tunnel marker. It's within 6 inches of that monster that just came out. That guy gets to reroll his charges into something that's, 8 inches away further, like 8 inches even further away. Like, it's crazy good.
Yep. Sounds like just a grand old time. Okay. And then last but not least, just the final salt in the wound, Frankie. What's that last stratagem?
Sure. It's your standard uppy downy. Really, really good. End of your opponent's fight phase, 1 Tyranid unit or up to 2 burrower units from your army that are not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Remove your unit from the battlefield and place it in strategic reserves. In an army that wants to be going up and down and in and out of these tunnels, this is probably going to get used every turn. Almost guaranteed to get used every turn.
Yeah, but like this is even better than standard uppy downy because you could do 2 burrow units. So like those Trigons and Molochs and all that stuff, you're just like Raveners.
It's real good. Yeah, and we can talk about that new Ravener data sheet too because I'm stoked about that thing.
Understandably so.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that really is the big standout about this from other Tyranids detachments is so many of the strats in other Tyranids detachments are like tied to the unit that has the keyword, right? Like Vanguard Invader unit gets to do this, that, and the other thing, or or something in Synapse gets to do this, that, the other thing. In this one, the strats, with a couple exceptions, affect almost everything. Like you can use almost anything on almost anything, which is really good.
Yep. Yeah. So how many people are obviously just running like a Hierophant to just, down right into somebody's face? Here's just a 2-up, 5-up with 30 wounds, T14.
I will high five the shit out of you if you make a Hierophant come out of the tunnel and re-roll a 6-inch charge into something. You get a crisp high five from me for sure. How
Oh,
it gets out of that 40-millimeter tunnel, I don't know. I don't care. I don't even actually know if it can fully fit within 9 inches of the 40-millimeter tunnel. Kind of have to straddle the tunnel marker maybe to fit it in there.
it's
But
it's gonna take some Jenga to pull that off, but
yeah.
man, that is impressive.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, that's my only goal is to see somebody put that on the table. Is just a Hierophant in
Yeah.
this detachment.
I mean, I seriously think the detachment is just, it's like the best overall Tyranids detachment. It works for every unit in the army. Every unit in the army can benefit from this detachment, which is super cool.
Yeah. All right, so we are going to dive real quick into some of these new data sheets that we have here. And what are we looking at, Phil?
Well, it's the new Raveners. Now, I will say, as a Gene Stealer cult player myself, I love it when we get new Vanguard Tyranid models, because it means I get a little surprise myself. It's a little treat for the Gene Stealers. And I saw these guys and I'm like, hold on. This is like a Gilliman unit, right? Like you have a character in there, but he's kind of got a bodyguard, but it's not really as good, but they're lethal, and it's a character unit, and it has deep strike, and it's got synapse, which is super important for NIDs, but this unit is very interesting. There's a little bit of consternation about like what the sizes are, but the data sheet says 5 models. I understand the app shows a little differently, but this is what the data sheet shows. I'm gonna play off this until I hear otherwise. So anti-vehicle 5-up, anti-monster 5-up with twin linked, 6 attacks for the prime, 3 attacks for the regular Raveners, strength 5 -2, flat 2. Well,
Strength
when
6,
you have for you, yeah, strength 6.
Yep.
Strength 6 for you, strength 5 for me. But twin linked, which is awesome. Reroll 1s to hit, which is awesome. And then you could even, like, these guys are solid. They have a 10-inch move, toughness 5, 6 wounds, 3 wounds, no invols, but they are very good. But they have an ability where they can heroic intervention or rapid ingress for free, even if another unit has done it. As Frankie was alluding to before, you could bring in 3 of these Ravener units. And then also your Trigon could come out of the ground, and then you could bring in all your stuff around the Trigon, around that blip, and then you're outside of 6 inches. So you've dropped easily 1,000 points within 6 inches of your opponent. Like you could easily do that if you have enough blips already pre-staged.
Yeah,
Wild.
I love this unit. I was very excited, and we should note too that the regular Raveners also got this glow up as well. They got the three attacks instead of the 7 they used to have, but strength 5 -2, 2 damage. The regular Raveners uppy downy for free. These guys give out sustained and rapid for free. So, I mean, I know the game really leans into MSU for a lot of things, and I think probably in the end that is going to be the way to go with the hyper adapted Raveners and the Raveners separate. But me personally, anybody who knows me, I love the like big bricks of death, and the hyper adapted Raveners attached to the regular Raveners, uppy downying for free. So you can spend your CP to uppy downy your zoanthropes that are bouncing around just murdering whatever they see. And these guys are just doing it for free the whole game, and they rapid for free. Imagine this, the nice thing about rapid, right, is like you can hide stuff. So even a big unit, maybe you kind of string them out real weird, they're not going to get shot. You rapid both of these gigantic bricks that can kill almost anything in your opponent's turn. They don't get shot because you rapided them, and then they move 10, so they're not going to fail their charge. They move 10 and they just go kill whatever they want. You don't need to spend that sustained strat on them because they already have it built in. They're hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s with sustained. I mean, it's just really, really strong. Like rapid is already probably the strongest strat in the game as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So,
and I do think the other thing here, right? Whenever they're set up, you make a burrow token. The dumb thing about this is you can rapid ingress 1 and say, this is where I want this model that's on my backline. You rapid them, drop the burrow token. Then at the end of that turn, since they're attached, you pick them up for free, go drop them in your backline to just screen it out, and then you shoot that thing that it just landed by forward for a CP, and it replaces where they rapid ingress because you put the token there. Like, I don't know. There's some crazy play you can do, because if you are just up downing these and just creating tokens all over the board, Your ability to be insanely mobile and wherever you need to be, disgusting.
I mean, that's definitely the plan, right? Like they're up downing the whole game, and then whenever you need to kill something, they can go do it. I mean, obviously this is you got 33 attacks when you combine them. On threes, rerolling ones with sustained, which means everything hits. So you get 33 hits. They've got 18 of the 33 attacks have anti-monster vehicle 5-up, which, like I was saying before, hull spam can be kind of a problem for bugs sometimes. I don't think it is in this detachment, especially with these guys here. Yeah, I mean, I think they kill almost anything they touch, unless you have -1 damage. Like they're gonna kill you.
Well, they're almost uninteractable. They could almost be uninteractable. Like as Lane was saying, that like the rapid ingress on your turn, right? And then I put the burrow token down, and then I'm just picking them up at the end of your turn.
Or they could just go back in their own burrow too. Like that's like there's so many things they pop up, they make a burrow. I mean, I don't think any of this stuff says end of the movement phase or anything like that. Did you say in the movement phase? Like maybe I missed something, but I don't think I've been looking at it all day for the past 2 days, and I don't think it says end of movement phase or anything like that.
It just says set up from the battlefield from reserves.
Yeah, so they put a tunnel down, and then they can go back in their own tunnel and pop out in a different tunnel. Like there's so much shenanigans you can do. And I don't know. I think you can even use that to make another tunnel that's close to the tunnel they come out of.
Well, not the end of the movement one, where they have to be near a tunnel marker and then set up near another one.
Is that end? Does that one say end of movement?
That is end of movement specifically, okay. And you have to go from burrow to burrow.
But you never go back into reserves.
Yep. So you're not.
It says take you. I guess it doesn't. It says take you removed from the battlefield
and set it up again. Yeah, that's probably going to have to be one that's FAQ'd.
Yep.
Potentially, because that is unclear on whether or not you can set up another token or not.
Yeah.
My initial thought is no, because it doesn't specifically say
that, but it's just back into strategic reserves. That makes sense.
Right.
Correct.
That's good. There's already too many shenanigans here.
Yes. I concur. Yeah. God damn. All right.
Yeah. I'm excited. I think it's going to take a lot. I mean, it's going to take a lot of practice to really get it like super dialed in to have it be like, I mean, I think it's, I don't know if it's high brain like detachment, but it's certainly, I think you could screw it up pretty easily if you don't know what you're doing.
I mean, if nothing else, it's at least hive brain,
At least hive brain. I think it's going to be really fun. It has a lot of the things I've been missing about Tyranids this edition. Vanguard's fast. Like the other Tyranid builds are not fast. This is faster than Vanguard, even though you don't have the advance and charge. But it's
better than advance and charge.
You're deadly again. The change to the Psychophage where it gives you extra AP. That's something we haven't talked about yet either. So the Psychophage comes out of a tunnel, shoots something with its flamer. Your other stuff that comes out of that tunnel, you use the strat on the Psychophage for your reroll charges. The other stuff that comes out charges that thing and gets an extra pip of AP also. So these Raveners at AP 3, it screws up another problem that Tyranids have had all edition, which is dealing with like 2-up saves with Armor of Contempt. Like 2-up saves with Armor of Contempt have been a huge problem for Tyranids. In this detachment, I just don't think they are anymore.
Yeah, suck on that, Death Shroud Terminators.
Yeah, good.
About time. Somebody had to deal with those rascals. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe this will be one of the few things that rolls along and Death Guard just can't Overwatch down and deal with fast enough that it might be able to be pulling down those tough Terminators.
I do think it will cause a problem for Death Guard for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, we do have a version of kind of your playtest list thing, a thing you want to try out first and get a feel for what's going to be good. Go ahead and run us through that, and then after that, we'll kind of talk through why you are taking these things.
Sure. Got the Neuro Tyrant. First of all, he'll be the Warlord. He can attach into the Zoanthropes. I talked about it before. Hit on 2s, reroll 1s. With the strat sustained, if they're bouncing all over the table, I think they're really deadly. Trigon Prime. It gives you strength 11, which is awesome in Tyranids. Strength 11, AP 2, 3 damage. Makes you hit on 2s, and you've got those reroll 1s in this detachment, so ultra reliable. Access to sustained, so 2s rerolling 1s with sustained is more hits than attacks, which is great. They already have 12 attacks, so it's pretty 12 3 damage attacks, pretty good. They were already kind of Trigons, I think, were already good just as a rapid ingress threat. You don't really need another rapid ingress threat in this detachment, but hey, the more the merrier. Yeah, I love the Trigon Prime. I think you'll see it in probably every list, every Subterranean list. Then you've got Lictors. Obviously, you put them in there to screen early. You don't have to sacrifice them because you've got the Tremor enhancement on the Neurotyrant, so you can just pop them back into reserves. They can come out of a tunnel somewhere now, which essentially gives them deep strike again like they used to have back in the day. Come out of a tunnel, super cheap unit, doing actions for you, scoring tons of points. Especially it's 9 inches from the tunnels. Essentially, by turn 3, it gives you deep strike all over the table. The Fancy Raveners, I love them so far. I haven't played them yet, but I just love them on paper. I think they do so much for you with the free rapid, the free heroic, the buffing your other Raveners if you need to. They can get uppy downy from the other Raveners. I think they're great on paper. I don't know about ultimately in the builds as they get more hashed out. I don't know if they'll stay or not. I like them, and I'm going to play with them, and I'm going to use them, and they're good at killing elite infantry. They're good at killing medium infantry, which I like, so, because I hate Ultramarine, which you guys all know. Then you've got the Zoanthrope unit. We already talked about it. They're just uber reliable in this detachment when they're attached to the Neurotyrant. Even without the Neurotyrant, they're crazy reliable. Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s with sustained and ignore cover is already really good, but hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s with sustained and no cover is very, very good. Hormagaunts, I think you always have to have some Griblies. The OC2 is nice. Hormagaunts are fast. They're way cheaper than Gargoyles. I'm sure you'll see Gargoyles in this detachment too, but I think that you have so much speed from other things that you don't necessarily need them, and they're awfully pricey these days. So Hormagaunts it is for me. Maliceptor would be probably my just sit on my natural objective the whole game. That's the thought there anyways. He can even pop onto it using a tunnel, which is cool. Maliceptors are just awesome in general for Tyranids, but I think it's a great natural objective holder, especially with some Hormagaunts around him. Just kind of a pain to remove. So the Psychophage, I don't know if it'll stay either. I just love the idea of it coming out of a tunnel, spraying something, giving you extra AP on whatever else comes out of that tunnel. Extra AP in melee, which is cool. And it has a 12-inch move now, which I think is awesome. It still has a 5-up Feel No Pain. It's still just kind of a pain in the butt to remove for the points cost. I really like it just coming out of a tunnel for extra AP. I mean, extra AP is something Tyranids have wanted for a long time, and the data slate gave it to us, which is super cool. Exocrines you can never go wrong with. Now all of your Exocrines get to reroll 1s to hit, not just the second and third one that shoot at something. So it basically takes their datasheet ability away, this detachment, but who cares? It's better because the first Exocrine that shoots gets the reroll 1s now.
Yeah. Now you just need the 2 of them. You don't need 3.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The first one was just for funsies, right? If you got anything off that, you're like, that's a win.
Uh-huh. And again, these guys can pop out of a hole in the ground. There's no restrictions on this stuff. An Exocrine popping out of the ground with sustained and ignoring cover, they're AP 3. I mean, it's real good. That just talk about things that just murder Terminators. They already were good at it, and they're just way better at it now. It's really good. Haruspecs, I think there's definitely an argument for multiple Haruspecs, and I think you'll see that a lot of times in this detachment. Probably, maybe the Psychophage goes away. I like the Psychophage Haruspecs combo personally because it's got pretty low AP. Now it's 14 attack mouth can be AP 2 and 2 damage instead of AP 1 and 2 damage, which is really good. And it makes the anti-tank attack it has AP3 instead of AP2. So I don't know. I don't know how this is going to get mixed and matched around. I think all of these, I think I said it before, almost every unit in the book is better because of this detachment. You guys all know Tucker. He's a great player. I think his build has 2 Neurotyrants and 2 bricks of Zoanthropes, which 100% makes sense to me. A devastating unit.
Yeah, we definitely haven't learned anything from the old Vanguard Marine build where you just have dev Centurions going anywhere they want on the board to just delete hard targets. These may only be range 24, granted.
Right.
But,
who cares? There's not really that many, lanes that are longer than that, especially when you can all of a sudden have deep strike with Zoanthropes, like because of the tunnels. You're never gonna 24 inches is not short range anymore. It was at the start of the edition, and now it's not, and not in this detachment for sure. Yeah, they're super deadly, and I mean maybe the hero unit of this detachment, which is crazy to me because they almost nobody was taking them just the other day, and now they're going to be everywhere.
I think this is a life lesson for Games Workshop. They go through this thing of like wanting to make units better, and they obviously they're business and they want to sell units, but they do this thing where they drop points, and no one's taking them and no one's running them. But all it takes is for a good detachment that allows you to play the army in a way that normally you wouldn't. Like in any other detachment that's too specialized, you'd be like, well, there's only like a handful of units I'm going to use here because those are the only units that are going to benefit from it. But you give army-wide reroll hit rolls of 1. You give the capabilities to deep strike for any unit. It's not limited to monster. It's not limited to battle line or characters. It's just like whatever you want. And then every strat has the capabilities to benefit your entire army. So like that's what gets armies off the shelves. That's what gets armies on the table. You give them a good detachment that all the rules can benefit a vast amount of units. I mean, I'm pretty confident with Lions, and I've run every different kind of unit in that because when you give me army-wide +1 to hit, +1 to wound, like everything gets good now.
Yeah. The thing I really want to try in this detachment that I just haven't squeezed it in yet, but I mean, Screamer Killers in this detachment too are just like their problem. Their data sheet's awesome. Their problem was you just can't deliver them. Like they're super hard to deliver. They don't have deep strike. They only move 8. They have this gigantic base and these huge arms that come out the side. It's hard to squeeze them in places. But now they come out of a tunnel and make a rerollable 6-inch charge that they can give to themselves because they're a monster. That's like super deadly. You've got 10 strength 10 attacks. If you have a synapse creature up there too, then it's strength 11. 10 strength 11 attacks for at -2 or potentially -3 for 3 damage. Sustained, rerolling 1s. Like that unit all of a sudden went from something you will never ever see to like, holy shit, it's pretty good in this detachment. Like it battle shocks something before it charges in, so you can't even use defensive strats against it. Like, I don't know, dude. I mean, I think you'll probably see them. I think you'll see units you haven't seen all edition come out because of this detachment.
Yeah, old One Eye with Carnifex is coming back to just blood surge into you after the first charge.
Way too expensive, but dude. But so deadly all of a sudden. When you can actually deliver these units, which have been really hard to deliver for Tyranids, now you can deliver them. They're deadly units that just never saw the table because they just can never get into combat.
Yeah, I do think they're like, I don't think the Carnifexes are worth the addition. I do not. But old One Eye, if you're looking for some anti-tank to put in your list, 6 attacks at strength 14, AP3, D6 +1, that's pretty good.
Now rerolling 1s, like you used to have to have a Carnifex with him because the Carnifex allows him to reroll.
Yeah.
But now you're hitting on 3s with reroll 1s and sustained, so that essentially fully makes up for the full rerolls. It's better. It's better.
Yeah. You average the 6 attacks, all making it to wound at least.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know, man. There's some spice for sure in here. I do think, I'm very curious to see how your playtests go. I agree. I think there's going to be all kinds of different, list configurations where maybe you're going super hard on the Zoes and just, melting things in the shooting phase. And I mean, shit, your ability to just jam people up with 6-inch charges. I mean, if we've learned anything from Demonic Incursion, at least 6-inch charge, solid, solid.
I mean, dude, do you like? I really do think you can make like a swarm detachment work in this incredibly well.
Yeah, yeah,
You've got the regen. You still have a regen near the tunnels. You can have 20-man bricks popping up all over the board, clogging everything up, just making 6-inch charges into like just keeping tanks from moving the entire game. Like there's just so much nasty shit you can do with this. Like
yeah, yeah.
you're going to see full shooty builds that don't have a single melee unit in them because, you got exocrines popping in and out of holes and, Tyrannifexes popping in and out of holes, just shooting whatever they want. Like,
Yeah.
so many options.
It is wild for sure. And I don't know. I agree. I think the Tyrannifex, I mean, if you go for the more like sit back castle-y build and you're just making your little tunnels, and you have them, you're just like, you're never going to hide from me. I mean, for teams especially, say, all right, put me into a knight player. They're not hiding a thing against my shooting. Putting just zoanthropes into a knight now, like that's going to be brutal.
Dude, you take 3 units of the because they're wounding on 3s now, and they have lethal. Yeah, but yeah, you take if you like a full gunline build, you just take 3 of the regular Ravener units. Don't take the Trigon. The regular Raveners are cheap. They just uppy Downy for free the whole game, so you can uppy Downy something else like Zoanthropes or T-Fex. Just building tunnels all over your backline so that your gun units can just hop around to every shooting lane at any time whenever you want to shoot whatever you want. It's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Has there been?
It's just shell game.
Has there been a detachment
That's the new name of this
that is this mobile?
I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't think so. Grey Knights has some, but I don't even think that really is that close.
No, because they don't have the effective. The closest has to be Demonic Incursion, where you can pick up 2 units if you're in your shadow, and then you can be within 6 and charge. But they do not have the additional movement in your own movement phase. So by far, this has to be the most mobile army in terms of being able to just hop around board positionally. Like, it is going to be tough to deal with, tough to screen out, and tough to like hide on angles. I mean, you can't even just having to be within 9. You just be wholly within 9.
Within 9.
You get a couple of those, blips put down.
That's half the table. That's half the on any lengthwise deployment. That's half the table from one tunnel. More 18 inches is almost half the table from one tunnel.
So
you get 2 tunnels and you have basically the entire table covered.
Yeah, and the fact that it's only you have to be within 9 of the blip and outside of 6. That means you aren't even like, at least with like the way shadows worked for demons, usually you had to get out there because what came in was within 6 of you. You are just dropping, you can drop behind a wall, put it, the inch in front of the wall, and then there's a whole 9 more inches towards your opponent that you can come in without risking the entire unit that set up that possibility.
Yeah, you can be 18 inches away from, or further. Like you can, the tunnels go wherever you want. You can pop up basically as far or as close as you want to whatever enemy you want. It's army-wide deep strike, which is pretty good. Army-wide better than deep strike because you can get with 6.1 inches away.
Yeah, man, solid. Looks great. I'm very stoked to see how this list plays. I'm sure you're going to keep tweaking and honing in on what's working for you in your play style. But I mean, there is definitely some combos in here. I feel like we've talked about pretty much all of them that you could be looking for to really fit your play style. Any final thoughts on this new detachment, Frankie?
I think Bugs needed something and they really got it. Like a lot. It could end up being super oppressive and get nerfed quick, but this is a data slate, so I get it for at least 3 months.
Yeah, they said we need uppies, and they got the uppies, dude.
They got the uppies. Vanguard has uppies too. It's just not the same.
Yeah, they are fucking pulled from the depths to being probably one of the toughest things to deal with in the new meta, I would say, for sure.
I mean, it's pretty amazing how that can happen with just one slightly different detachment. I will say that is one of the things I really like about this too. I think it is real different from stuff we've seen. I like the idea. I mean, the blips are kind of the GSC blips are kind of similar, but it's like the thematic sort of Jormungandr style with like burrowing. I think it's cool. Now I wish my army was black and yellow instead of pink.
Yeah, I mean, I do think, in all honesty, if they had done the GSC blips in this style, it would have worked out way better than it did originally.
Yes,
because they threw that out the door because it wasn't any good. But we'll see. Maybe they'll learn from this. GSC will just basically have this whole detachment rule for their army rule going into the next edition. But that'd be
we'll
cool.
have to see if GW handles it like adults. If they change the detachment a little bit, which is probably what should happen, or if they just nuke the entire army with points nerfs.
Yeah,
which,
we'll see. Enjoy your 2 to 3 months potentially. Either way,
I'm gonna see you before this gets nerfed.
Yeah, we'll finally get another game in. It's been what, like 8 months now? 6,
it's been a minute.
7, 8 months? I don't know, dude. It's been a while. Yeah, I never got any of that Legion of Excess smoke, so it's about time. And I think this is probably grosser, in all honesty.
Yeah, it doesn't have I don't think this has hard counters the way that a Legion of Excess did. You're running a great melee army. Legions of Excess was not great, so into that. But this can handle anything. You can build it any way to do anything, which is super cool.
Yeah, I would like to say I'm looking forward to hanging out with you during a game. I don't know if I'm looking forward to playing against this detachment, but we'll have fun either way for sure.
Yes,
It'll just depend on how drunk I get. Phil, any other thoughts?
I'm concerned that this detachment as a whole is going to be one of those, like Frankie said, it could be a feels bad. It really could be, where it's just like, you don't have the tools to get within 3 of any of these blips, because to get within 3, you're probably sacrificing a unit if played properly, which is another way to, I think, play this, where it's just like, okay, I blip, I disappear, but I have a full unit of Raveners that I've rapid ingress back here that if you get close to that blip to try to get rid of it, like, I'm killing whatever comes out there, right? Because I'm either going to drop in the zone throps or do whatever the case is. And there are some people that are going to really struggle with dealing this. And I'm going to give you 2 points of notes that you need to understand as a player that just heard us like blush about how great this detachment is. And there's some really important things that you need to do that could stop this. One, it's just screen out properly. You need to have units that can screen, that can actually keep your units safe. Because the majority of times they come out, they are going to have to actually be able to come out, charge, engage, and they're going to be stuck down there for a turn. And whatever it is that they go into, you have to be able to punish them for whatever it is they went into. So you cannot have your vehicles or your, like, even your fights first brick. I would not, like, if your Ynnari was still a thing, I would actually be concerned, because that Yvrain brick that was usually out there wasn't screened out by anything. Well, are they going to kill one of these giant freaking bugs that's going to come into them? No, they're not, because they're going to get charged by 2 or 3 different things, and they're just going to get wiped out, and you've now lost that unit. So you need your screen game. It needs to be in the freaking stratosphere, because otherwise you're going to get like pushed down by a bunch of giant bugs, and you are not going to have fun.
I think that is I totally agree with that. And I think that's my main concern about this detachment, is it is going to absolutely annihilate any kind of newer player. Like they are, I mean, rapid ingressing is already maybe the best strat in the game, right? Like you can use that to jump on people's tiny mistakes. And this whole army can rapid ingress, and these blips come up everywhere within, giving you 6-inch deep strikes. Like, if people do not screen properly, if people do not like understand where they are on the board in relation to where I can come in on the board, like, it's gonna be a rough time. Like, the game is already a high skill game. Like, I think even people who are like medium to newer experience are gonna get crushed by this, and it's gonna suck.
Yeah,
like, that's not.
I will say it is so important to screen, but make sure you're not over screening early.
Yeah.
Because turn 1, they can up down some stuff, but they can't hard commit to you. It is so much more important, have some good spacing. But if you you can't, on especially some of these more elite Marine-ish armies, you cannot afford to just be throwing those screens forward early. You know, you need to make it, you know, to where if you want to put a blip out here in the midboard, that's fine, but it's in the middle. I can still see it. And then go and remove it if your Tyranid opponent is, you know, actually going to overcommit to getting stuff down early. You need to be trying to wait as long as you can. Make them get all of their stuff on the board so that they can only play the shell game so much each turn after that.
I think I was thinking about this too as I was building multiple lists. I think if you have access to any kind of reactive move, that's going to be super helpful into this. So if this takes over the meta, like make sure you have plenty of utility units, things like Vanguard units in Vanguard Marines, that a blip comes in, something pops up, 9 inches away, fine. Something pops in off the blip 6 inches from you. You move towards that blip and just remove it from the board immediately. Like there's reactive moves and cheap utility units are going to serve you really well against this for sure.
Just one more thing to have to worry about.
GW.
Ynnari's gone, finally done with its movement shenanigans, and here comes freaking Subterranean bullshit.
Dude, how about that Ynnari nerf, dude? That's absurd, man. Just remove it from. Oh yeah, now only your infantry and bikes can move, and it's D6 plus 1. Like
it should have been flat 6. It should have just been a flat 6 move.
Murdered the detachment. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would have been okay if they just said you had to do it when the unit died. Like, I just didn't like them doing it at the end of the shooting phase. Like, I just wanted you to do it when it died.
I kind of like it. I kind of liked it at the end of the shooting phase better, I think. Because I hated the idea of lining up shots, killing something, and then having another thing you were going to shoot just not, you can't shoot it anymore. Which I think that
there's pros and cons to both, for sure. It definitely, I think with the current iteration, if it had to just the within 6 stipulation, I could see it going either way. End of the turn, you know, something had to die. The only thing I don't like is like now you have to measure before you activate into anything. Okay, this was within 6 of this was within 6 of that, you know, and keep track of it that way.
And your move might be 2 inches.
It should be flat 6. It should. D6 plus 1 was way too harsh. Just a flat 6 is at least workable. Now it's just useless. But, you know, I'm curious to see another couple months if this is as gross as we think it might be. We got to see you suffer the triple tap on your Legion of Excess. We got to just see Ynnari get it. You weren't playing them. But we might see the triple tap on this detachment as well, given a couple months. But, you know, fingers crossed it doesn't come out swinging that hard and can avoid being the second army this year for you to get absolutely nerfed into the ground.
I think the thing that will help me out is like tons of people have Tyranids. So hopefully some of the newer players will struggle with some of this like crazy movement stuff and won't run people over, and the win rate won't get too out of control, and then I'll be in that whole Ultramarine situation, which
there
is
you go. Tell everybody you know, run Old One Eye, Max Carnifexes, a Hierophant. That's what people need to be running. Just kidding. The Hierophant, I actually do think is a problem. If you can get it to work,
I want to see it.
Man, that just sounds like a miserable existence to deal with that thing. All right. Well, it has been super fun. Thanks again, Frankie, for coming on. And do not forget to like and subscribe. We have been really enjoying putting content out for y'all. And do not forget, Victory Isn't Given is forged, and it's forged right here on Mastercrafted. We will see you all next time.